Hi, I'm Drew.
And I'm Sam.
And welcome to Drewling Samantics. Well, hello, everyone. Hello, Drewling Samantics fans. Hang on, it's only me at the moment. That's not right. Where is he? Where's my little buddy?
I'm here.
There we are. Hello, Sam. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, Drew. How are you?
Good. Very, very good. Great to see you. Great to see you.
Oh, now, well, the feeling is mutual, mate. So how have you been? Have you been incredibly busy? Because I know you're in rehearsals sort of full on at the moment. So have you been throwing yourself completely into those?
Absolutely. It's been a very busy week. It's been very full on. Enjoying it mightily. We open very soon. So the pace is picking up during rehearsals, but yes, all going great guns. And I know you're very, very busy. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, so similar. I've been back on set again, a bit more of the filming, which actually brings me to something I wanted to ask you, because obviously we've spent most of this season really talking about secrets and not being able to reveal sort of things. Last week, I finally was able to tell everyone exactly what I've been up to, or more specifics, shall I say, and obviously revealed the fact that I am playing twins in the next movie I'm doing, or I'm currently in production of a movie called Zombikini, where I play a couple of identical twins, which is brilliant. And that must mean, now we're a week on from that, so it must mean it's now time for you to reveal your big secret about what you've been up to.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But no.
Oh, no.
No, I'm afraid things are still under wraps. There's a little bit more work to be done, and then a little bit more time, and then I can actually say something. I know I must be driving everyone mad. It's probably annoying you as well, but
I want to know what's going on.
I can't tell you either. No, it's soon. It will be revealed. I promise.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And it better be bloody worth the wait now. Everyone's sat on tenterhooks, ready and raring, and you're going, no.
No.
Yeah. But, I tell you what you can do though to sort of help people out from their disappointment that they don't know what you've been up to. You can tell everyone what we're about to get up to in this episode.
Well, Sam, we've got a guest this week. In fact, no, we haven't got a guest.
We haven't got a guest.
No, we haven't got a guest. No. I spring back to what you were saying a little bit earlier about, playing twins. Well, this week we don't have one guest. We have two guests for you. Two guests. We have two wonderful actors and wonderful performers. We have Mr. Terry Burns and Mr. Terry Gauci joining us for a chat and a laugh.
So not twins, but they do share the same first name. So connection in there somewhere. But so I've been so excited and so looking forward to this particular episode, because this is something that's been in the works for a little while. We have been trying to organise this and getting the guys on for quite some time, because it's been a bit challenging to sort of, what's the word, congregate, shall I say, trying to get 4 different jobbing actors, performers, calendars to match up. It's been a little bit of a challenge, mate, really, hasn't it?
It has, hasn't it? It has. Well, thankfully, it's because we're all busy, which is a lovely thing to say. And they're two very talented boys, so they're difficult to pin down at the best of times.
Yeah.
So but they're should we get into it? Should we do it?
I think we certainly should. So not only we are about to introduce 2 incredible performers, 2 very good friends, but 2 good friends of ours as well. And I think everyone is in for a treat. So ladies and gentlemen, Drewling Samantics, fans, followers, listeners, watchers, be prepared for the wonderful Mr. Terry Burns and the brilliant Mr. Terry Gauci. And ladies and gentlemen, there they are, the most beautiful Terrys I know. Mr. Terry Gauci, Mr. Terry Burns. Welcome to Drewling Samantics, gentlemen.
Hello.
Lovely to have us with us, lads. Mr. Burns, we know each other from way back, don't we, sir?
Yeah, 20 plus years ago. We trod the boards together at the Nottingham Theatre Royal.
That's
in
right.
a production of Rope.
Christ, yeah.
So if memory serves me.
I think you're right. And
long
sorry,
time
I haven't
ago
met
now,
Mr. Gauci until today. We always start off, gentlemen, as a little introduction. Mr. Burns has already sort of kicked off and started there. So we'll get to you in a minute, Mr. Burns. But Terry Gauci, lovely to meet you.
And you.
We haven't met before, although we haven't been allowed to meet because we've sort of like do similar stuff, but we'll get onto that later. We always start with a little introduction. Mr. Gauci, would you give us a little introduction? Tell us and your viewers, or me and our viewers and listeners, a little bit about yourself, mate.
Okie dokie. I started off in the entertainment industry when I was 13 years old in radio. From there, I went on to the holiday parks as a DJ. I worked with people like Bob Monkhouse, comedy legend. And then I thought, wait a minute, comedy's easier than DJing. You've got to do 45 minutes to an hour rather than stand there and get requests for ABBA or play something decent that we can dance to. So anyway, I thought, I'll do comedy instead. Got into comedy, did that for a number of years, managed to do some TV work, TV warm-up work, which was great. I now am a professionally licensed boxing MC for the British Boxing Board of Control. And I do pantomimes every Christmas and a little bit of acting on the side, as well as teach drama. So much, the CV is as long as my arm, but that's it briefly.
Okay. That was beautifully done, mate. That was like, and breathe.
Yeah.
Hey, fantastic.
Burnsy, follow that. Go on, off you go.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, it all started when I was 6. Was
it your teacher, Burnsy?
Yeah, it was my teacher. No. Well, to be fair, I was very young. I got the acting bug. I went along to a drama group and I did a play called Our Day Out by Willie Russell. I played the bus driver and I sung a song and I got a big round of applause and lots of laughs. And I thought, this is the life for me. So I decided at that point I was going to be an actor. And then that was it. I haven't changed since then. And I went through school and college and I went to drama school, Central. Back last century, I graduated 1998. And since then, I've done all sorts. I've done TV, film, theatre, voiceover, role play, and loads of panto recently as well, which has been lots of fun with this man here. Partners in crime. And hopefully occasionally in comedy as well, and it's been a lot of fun.
And that's kind of almost where this episode and why getting the two of you on together has kind of come about, because we sort of, Drew, you alluded to it earlier. Now, the reason I know each of you is because you have each been opposite me in shows playing the same character, and we're going to get this out of the way now because otherwise it's going to come up at some point. So I am currently sat here as the odd one out. I'm the only person who has not played Del Boy in a tribute show. However, each of you has played him opposite I. So I don't know, do we want to do a little quick sound bite each just to throw it out there? Drew,
don't be a plonker all your life, Samuel.
Yeah, hey? There we go. Burnsy with one lovely.
What's wrong with you?
Go on, Drew.
You know why he started that, don't you? Because you know Mr. Burns is looking for a new bloody agent, isn't he? Looking for a new agent. That's why he went first.
I've been collared, haven't I? I've been bloody collared.
I don't believe you two, hey? Come on, back it in now. This time next year, we'll still be here.
And that is enough of that. We don't need to go back over that. We don't need to touch that again. We've got it out of the way. But yeah, so we've all worked for the same company or various companies doing tribute work. And I've been lucky enough to work opposite each of you, albeit all playing the same role. However, the reason mainly for getting you guys on together is because despite having these very individual, very successful careers in obviously the entertainment industry, but quite often in separate branches, for some reason, you keep ending up stood next to each other as partners, be it in panto or summer shows or whatever. So what is it that just works for the two of you? Why have you got this such amazing sort of relationship on stage?
It's just pure chemistry. I think when Terry and I first worked together, he was Abanazar, if I remember rightly, Burnsy, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure that was the first show we did.
Yeah.
I was Widow Twanky. And from day one, we hit it off backstage. We just sort of shared a laugh off stage. On stage, our characters just grew, and the relationship grew on stage. The audience loved it every time we did a scene together. The producers then loved it, and it just snowballed from there. I mean, that's really the story in a nutshell. I think the thing is, whenever you're working with someone, chemistry is a very important thing. And Drew and yourself, Sam, you'll know this, especially when you got thrown together doing what we've all done, and you've not had a rehearsal with people. You think, my God, hopefully they get what I do, or they allow me to breathe on stage, especially in a show that allows you to ad lib. And of course, panto is very much like that. And when you're working the audience, you've got timing is the essence, isn't it? And Burnsy always allowed me straight away from the get-go. I came from a stand-up comedy background. He came from an acting background. I don't mind me saying that, Burnsy. I hope you don't mind me saying that. No. That's more our fortes. And he respected me as a comedy entertainer, and I respected him as an actor. And from that, we just sort of kind of helped each other out. Burnsy would ask my advice about certain things. And likewise, he'd also give me some pointers as well with the acting. So from that, the relationship grew, and the rest is history, as they say. It was a great combination on stage, Burnsy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, first time I was playing Ebenezer, you were playing Widow Twankey, so I'm not even necessarily the comedy character. I'm the villain, is my role, but we had these comedy scenes together, and it just worked that we played up the comedy together, and I think, we just had an instinct for how the other one worked. And like Tel says, I would let him do his thing, and I would know when to then come in and, to bring us back onto, the script. But at the same time, hopefully, complementing what he was doing with what I was doing. And it's sort of, he's taught me so much, about, comedy. What is it again?
I'm not saying it. I'm not doing it. No.
Come on. No. I set you up for that one, and you didn't want to take.
No, I set you up.
Yeah. No, he's taught me so much about comedy timing and working an audience, because that's what he's done so much of throughout his career. And although I've done some of that in theatre plays and things that I've done over the years, and I've always loved comedy, and I feel like I've always had a bit of a flair for comedy in my performances. But yeah, working with Tel I've learned so much about that.
I think one of the best things, Burnsy, was when we had to look each other. I think it was only about the second or third show, and this is when we really hit it off. Burnsy had a scene where he looked me in the eyes, and he was going, "Now, Widow Twankey, if ever you need me, just rub the ring." And I went, "So I've just got to rub your ring." From that, like, I was trying to make Burnsy laugh. It wasn't in the script for me to repeat, but the audience got it. Burnsy started like corpsing, and that was it. And then the audience like, hold on a minute, he wasn't supposed to say that, and Ebenezer's gone here. And there was a thing in the script, weren't there, where I was able to sort of mix you up. Every time he came on stage, I'd call him Abba Banana, Aberystwyth.
Never knew what you were going to get every time.
I used to try and find different ones so that he'd never heard it before. And I'd
Abergavenny.
Yeah. Oh, Abergavenny, you're back. And he'd look at me and go, "You git. I can't believe you're doing this. Our Brof is here. Look, everyone." Whatever it was. And I just think the chemistry just built from there, didn't it, Tel?
I think so, mate. And I think actually, funny enough, talking about the comedy dining shows that we've done, and that's the kind of, I did a lot of that before doing panto, so I did that interaction during those shows, and I think I was used to like things like that happening, and I knew that actually when it goes a little bit sort of wrong or off-piste, that's what the audience loved the most. And as long as you're able to hold that, without completely falling apart, or actually sometimes even if you completely fall apart, as long as you can bring it back.
It's trust, isn't it?
It's trusting that you can play together on stage, yeah.
It's knowing each other well enough that you can let the audience in and go, "We're going to run with this now, we're going to play with this." And then one or either or both of you then goes, "All right, we'll bring it back now," and away we go. and we're back on, we're back on the script or whatever. I think it's, if you got that, I mean, it is about time, and it is about, but also looking each other in the eye, is that you look and you go, you're going for this, aren't you? Yeah. All right, then away you go. I mean, it's that's a lovely thing about doing that, the dinner shows and that, is because they're one-offs. And if you get it wrong that night, you go, I'm never going to do that again. But they're a good way of learning. I mean, I learned an awful lot doing those. And I mean, I've been playing Manuel doing dinner shows for 25 odd years. I've been playing Manuel before, getting onto Del Boy. So it takes you an awful lot. You mentioned Terry Burns, Mr. Burns, going to drama school. Was it that, and Central, was it a desire to do straight theatre? Were you going to always go, you saw something and went, I'm going to be a straight actor, or was it just getting yourself on the stage any which way?
I think, I've always been a bit of a jack of all trades, really. I sing a bit and I love to mix it up.
Yeah.
So, I want to, which is sort of, even within the panto world, I've played the villain, but now I'm sort of playing more of a comic character. And actually, when we did Treasure Island, I was playing the villain Blackbeard, but then I had an alter ego who stowed away on the ship. So I was in disguise as Pirate Pete, and I made him this sort of ridiculous comedy character. And I think that's when the producers saw that I could do both of those things. And I think that's what...
And you cheat, don't forget.
Well, yeah, I mean that was obviously the initial, that's the first part, obviously. we can get this guy for basically nothing. But he also can kind of do it as well.
So, just put an advert out there for you. He needs an agent, by the way.
Negotiate this guy works for basically nothing.
Oh dear.
But yeah, so I've always loved mixing it up, and I feel like I can do sort of different things, and I think probably I've always leaned a bit more towards comedy though. I think I've got. And
it's interesting to mention sort of training and stuff, because something that maybe people don't know quite so much about you, Gauci, is that you also run a theatre school.
Yes.
And sort of. And it's your wife does the dance side of things, is that right? And then you do sort of the acting side. And so how did that come about?
I got the sack on radio. And
okay, fair enough.
I was doing a breakfast show for 6 months. It's a long story, but I'll cut it short. I was doing a breakfast show. The management changed.
Just like your career was at that point.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. Here, Sam, I'll do the gags. I went in one morning and the new managing director or program director just didn't like what I was doing on air. It wasn't the choice because he'd just come in. He wanted to change things around. Anyway, they got rid of me. So I came home and I went to the wife. I have no idea what I'm going to do now, because I started at that time. I just started giving up all my comedy gigs. I was coming out of comedy again, going into radio full time. And I said, right, I've just said to all the agents now I'm packing in comedy, stand up. So what am I going to do? And then she suggested to me, she said, well, you love acting. You've always had a love for acting. She said, why don't we start the acting side of things? She had a dance school and she said, it's just another thing we can offer the kids off the estate. So it was giving kids an opportunity to build confidence. That's first and foremost what your banana drama is all about. It's not about, I don't promise the kids that Hollywood and they'll be in the next Marvel series or a Marvel film. It's not about that. It's about getting the kid with zero confidence and getting them talking about themselves, looking at another kid in the eye, and just all of a sudden building up a friendship group that they otherwise wouldn't have, because at school they might be an outcast because they like acting. It's like, what? Don't you like playing football? What? You're not into sport? You're not into music? What's wrong with you? Well, there's nothing wrong with me. I just like acting. I like using my imagination and being creative. And that's where it all sort of derived from. And Banana Drama, when we launched it, so I got the bullet in November, went into Panto in December, and we launched it on the January. And we had one class and we had about 20 students in the one class. Now we've got 3 classes in the one night. And students have ranged around about 60 to 70 students. So it has grown considerably. Nice. All age groups, right from 5-year-olds up to 16-year-olds, and across over the 3 different hours. But it's fantastic. I love watching kids grow in confidence. That for me, that ticks a box for me. I absolutely love it. And I took Banana Drama then to after school clubs as well, which I've kind of eased off because my working diary has got busier on my personal life, away from teaching. Me personally, I'm out there working more again, so I've had to sort of just shelve the after school clubs. But yeah, that's how it came about. Banana Drama existed. Finding the name was fun as well, because obviously growing up in the 80s, I ended up coming up with, it sounded like Banana Rama, ex-DJ. I went, yeah, do you know what? Banana Drama, that's got a nice ring to it. So, and that's it. That's where it comes about.
Wow. Amazing stuff. And then to completely sort of jump to another side of things, and this is one of the things that sort of really interests me about the pair of you, that you do work together so well, and that you're often your career sort of touch, but then you go completely different directions. And Gauci, you mentioned you were on radio. Burnsy, you do a lot of voiceover work now.
Yeah, from sort of about 2010, I sort of decided I need to bump up, because I'm not getting, because I'm really cheap, I'm not getting that much cash. I need to bump up my earnings a little bit. And I thought, voiceover might be a good thing to do. So I got a voice reel done. And from that, I got an agent who I've been with ever since. And it's been going pretty well. I've done all sorts of different things. I've been the voice of God on a number of occasions, believe it or not. And I've done ads. Sorry?
And you're an atheist. How does that work? That's hypocritical, Burnsy. You shouldn't have done that job.
No.
Give the money back.
I'm actually a Buddhist, Tel. I didn't tell you about that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've been meditating just before this started. I was
You've got the right hair, dude.
That explains the haircut.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've actually got a lovely full head of hair, but I shave it off because, because
for the temple.
The Buddhist look.
Drew, I said to you, temples. Should we get two people on at once? I've got a great idea. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Never again. What are we doing?
No, mate. I just wind them up, let them go. This is the least I've ever spoken on a podcast. I'm not loving it. You don't have to do anything. Just don't have to think or anything.
Can I just say, actually, because I wanted to say something about what Tel was saying before about Banana Drama, because I have chatted with Tel a little bit about Banana Drama. I think it's brilliant, but just that explanation there Tel was giving about the kid coming in and getting the Mickey taken out of him at school, and I say him because I think often that is the case, especially with boys, young boys. You got to be into football, you got to be into this, that, and the other, and that's very much my story. I went to school, I did drama at school. I wasn't the most popular kid. I was a little bit tubby, not great at football. And I did drama, and straight away I got those few laughs and I loved it. I was like, this is it for me. And I went home to my mum and I said, look, I really love drama. So she got me involved in this theatre group, probably much like Banana Drama. And that's where I did that show I mentioned, Our Day Out. And quite a few, we did Bugsy Malone, quite a few other shows from there. And that was where I got the acting bug, and that was where it became okay for me to do this, to have this dream of being a performer. So I think it's actually really just to get all sort of deep and meaningful for a moment with you there. So I think it's really great. I think Banana Drama is a fantastic thing that you're doing, and well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, without going into greater detail, because it's obviously personal to the children that we teach, and we have kids that come there, like girls that are being bullied at school or whatever. They're not sort of, or they're going through this transition period in their head. They don't really know what they're all about at this moment in time. And, we kind of help them like it's a way of them exploring themselves and finding out about themselves. And as I say, using their imagination, and just, Drew just said it, he's quite enjoyed just winding us up and watching us go. That's basically what I do on a Monday night. I go, right, here's the idea. Go on in, away you go. Yeah. And sometimes they come out with stuff that's totally nuts. And you go, what is this all about? And I'm at the back of the room going, I have no idea what they've just produced there, but hey, that's their imagination. That's what it's all about. It's not about me and what I want to visualize, So yeah, thanks, Burns.
I think it's so important
It is. I mean, I was going to say, Terry, you know, that there are those kids. I think we're all a little bit different when we're growing up. You know, we are all sort of slightly on the outside, you know, and to find those, I've taught at some of the stagecoach schools, and you know, the children that come, they're either, as you say, they're a little bit different, or they're lacking in confidence, or whatever. But just see one tiny little spark of something they do, it is rewarding, and it's so valuable that, you know, to give you know, kids an outlet. And who knows, they may go on to be, you know, four blokes chatting away in an afternoon, you know, on a podcast. Going,
unemployed actors.
All unemployed actors going
with no money.
Yeah. I really wish I could have played football now. You know.
You're not allowed to say the U word. We're resting. Come on, get it right.
Oh, right. Yes, sorry.
Resting.
Resting. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
Darling,
on that note, I'm going to have a drink of my pint here, guys.
Oh, you didn't tell me the bar was open, Drew.
Bar's always open, mate. The bar's always open. No, seriously. I mean, the great thing that we've all gone on and done, you know, however we started in the business, is, you know, and we all do those. I mean, saying we all do loads of different things, because it's the way of the business now, is that we all have to be, you know, you have to be good at a lot of things. You can't just be a double threat, a triple threat, even a quadruple threat, you know, because it doesn't get you work. But you can't, you know, we've all got a living to earn. I mean, and you mentioned Mr. Gauci, you mentioned the boxing, you know, emceeing and promoting. I mean, that is kind of left of field of what we do. You know, how did that come about?
Well, that's a strange one, really, because I've always worked in the entertainment industry. So doing stand-up, and by doing stand-up comedy, there was an agent that used to work me and book me at a lot of working men's clubs. And then he said, Terry, I'm looking for a compere for a working men's club down in Hayes in Middlesex. I don't suppose you fancy giving it a crack, do you? It's dead easy. He told me that the gig. I went down there. Basically, I walk on stage. I have a quick, hello, how's everyone doing? Here's the first act. Act goes on, take them off, bring the next act on. They go off, bring the top of the bill on. We have an interval while they call the bingo, do the meat raffle, you know, for your spuds and your Brussels sprouts and everything else. That goes on for like decades. That's the important thing. And then the acts have to come back on and warm them back up. And all I had to do was about 20 minutes. So I was on stage, like just taking them on, taking them off. And about sort of 5 or 6 times into it, this guy approached me and he went, I don't suppose you've ever compared boxing, have you? And I went, well, I said, funny you should say that, mate. I said, because when I was on the holiday parks as like an entertainer, a blue coat, whatever you want to call it, working for Warner's, I used to have to MC or referee the wrestling. I said, so yeah, I've actually commentated on the wrestling. I've been in the ring refereeing it and been hung upside down on the ropes and had the wrestlers duff me up. I said, so I've done a bit. He went, can I put you forward for our show? It was an amateur boxing club. And I went along to, and oh boy, the first night I got grilled by this official from England Boxing Association. You ever done this before? I felt like a little naughty schoolboy, you know, and I went, no, I haven't. It was only Dave. Dave asked me to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, absolutely, like one of those. And I mean, everyone that's around the ring's got a broken nose. You can imagine. And they're all like, you want their manner, you know, bloody entertainer. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Well, so I don't know. What do you want me to do? And anyway, they gave me the list. They went, right, all you've got to do is go in a ring, introduce this one, introduce that. So I went in there. Of course, being an entertainer, when I've said good evening to everyone, I've wound the crowd up and everyone's going, oh, he's a bit different. And it snowballed from there. I did a few for them. First couple of years, it was like one gig a year. And then I did their Christmas party and I did the auction and raffle. Of course, then I can let myself loose. When I'm doing the auction, I'm taking the mickey out of people. I'm having a laugh, getting more money out of them. People are going, this geezer's got something. And a bloke came up to me and he went, why don't you go for your pro license? I went, what do you mean? He went, you know, work for the British Boxing Board of Control. So I applied, got the interview, which was really surreal. It was in a hotel in London. I don't know, let's call it room 267. I had to go up to this floor. I couldn't hear. So I knock on the door and I couldn't hear anything behind the door. So I thought, I don't know if anyone said come in or not. So I've pushed the door open. As I've gone in there, I've walked around the corner. They're already interviewing someone and I couldn't hear it from outside the door. Straight away I went, get out. You're not welcome in here yet. I thought, oh, that's it. I've blown this. I've blown the interview now. This is the British Boxing Board of Control. I've got no chance. I'm back outside going, oh, great. I might as well go home. Anyway, eventually they call me in, sit down. I have the interview. I have to do a mock like announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first and boxing out of the red corner, weighing in at whatever, blah, 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 with a fight record of from Frank Bruno. And then they just said, like, make it up on the spot. And then after that, they went, good, you got your license. I went, oh, what? As easy as that? And they went, yeah, we don't give them out willy-nilly. Well done. You know, you answered every question right. Yeah, congratulations. So I went, what happens now? I said, you give me the work. And they went, no, you find it yourself. All right. So now I've got to give you money for my license, but I've still got to go and find the work. So I thought, well, I haven't really won anything. And it took a while for my name to get out there, but now it's out there. I get promoters calling me, which is lovely. I don't have to chase the work. And a lot of the time I turn it down because I'm already working or I'm busy doing other stuff. But yeah, I do love the boxing. It's nice. It's nice to get in there. I've always liked that sport anyway. So football and boxing, I kind of like the two sports. But it's strange because sometimes you turn up at the boxing and they all know what I do now, all the officials. So they're all like, oh, how's the panto going? And they're all telling each other, he dresses up as a woman at Christmas. Like, shut up, leave it out. Wait a minute. You know, it's like real testosterone at boxing. What? He dresses up as a woman? Get out. Yeah, but I also do Del Boy and Uncle Albert. I said,
yeah. Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Once they know about the fake tits, you're lost, mate.
So I want to go back to talking about panto because actually there's you guys have got panto coming up again together, but it's particularly special this year, and we'll go into that in a minute. But before we go there, just to throw another sort of curveball and show a different side, Mr. Burns was also a TV regular on a soap opera.
Oh goodness, yes.
Oh, that face suggested that you don't want to talk about it.
It's a long time ago. It was a long time ago.
It's just the reason I mention it mainly is just because it's such another different and obviously acting is acting. You're playing someone who is not you, and you're embracing a different character and a different persona. But perhaps for people who aren't in the industry, it won't be immediately apparent just how different acting for TV, for example, is being on a stage or to doing immersive theatre or to doing live theatre. Is that something, doing the TV, that really kind of took you in a different direction, or was that what you kind of fell in love with for another reason, do you think?
I think, well, at drama school, you know, the training was theatre. It was all theatre. There was no TV stuff whatsoever. It was, when I did it, it might have changed now because it was a long time ago. But, you know, 1998, when I graduated, that was all there was. I was
10, mate, just to make you feel good.
Yeah. I'll always get those, you know. But then again, how old were you, Gauci? And rather not say.
I was 67.
It's Benjamin Button. He's gone backwards.
It was a theatre training, which, you know, was, I think is the best training. You know, I think we've got some of the best training in the world in this country, and I think that if you want to be an actor, theatre training is what you need, because actually you can translate that onto the screen. Yeah, sure, it is smaller, sure, it is more contained, but it's still, the art form is still very much the same, I would say. When I first got this job on a show called Family Affairs, very soon after I left drama school, I was sort of 22 years old, and I got this regular role on this soap opera, and I'd never done any TV before. I think it might have been the first time I ever appeared on camera was when I did my my first scene in the first episode. And of course I'd heard all this, you've got to be really small, you mustn't move your face very much, you mustn't do this and you mustn't do that, you know, all these kind of urban myths sort of about it. And so when I look back at those very early episodes, I'm kind of a little bit robotic, you know. I'm like, yes, well, you know, but because that's actually not true at all. That's not it. You've got to be natural. You've got to have a natural way about you, and I kind of found my way with that, I think, quite quickly. I mean, obviously in the audition, that's what I was able to give. I think I was quite hungover actually when I did the audition. Back in my misspent youth, and I think I didn't have much energy other than just to kind of read the lines, and you know, I was doing a scene where I had to be quite angry with my dad, who I'd been estranged from, and I'd tracked him down, and I was giving him an earful, basically, but in a natural way. So I wasn't overplaying it. I wasn't making it too dramatic, mainly because I was still feeling a bit ropey from the night before, and I think that actually served me quite well.
There we go. There's perfect advice for any budding actors out there. If you've got a massive audition, just get wankered the night before.
Yeah, and I'm not giving that advice. That was Sam who said that. Just that's the way that worked out for me. But yeah, it is a different art form in some ways. But I think actually the theatre training really is what you need in terms of performance, and then you can translate that to.
Jumping on the back of that, Terry, you all mentioned like advice there. Right now, here's a good bit of advice. I think if anyone's watching this and they're just starting out in the industry, and you make contacts, always keep in touch with people. And here's the reason why. I did when we all did walk on and extra work. I was working on this program called Insiders, and in between filming, I started having a kickabout with the main actors. And we're having a kick about this football, and in between shooting. And one of the actors said to me, he said, do you know what, Terry? He said, I've had an absolute laugh with you today. He said, do me a favour. He said, keep in touch with me. And he gave me his number. I never ever rung him, never ever contacted him. Quite a few years later, my mum said to me, oh, have you watched that new thing on television? I said, no, what's that? She said, oh, it's a great cop series called Luther. The guy happens to be Idris Elba, who's now probably one of the most famous people in Hollywood. And I had his phone number. I played football with him on Insiders, and I never, ever phoned him. And he said, if ever you're down London, we'll go out for a beer and we'll chat, blah, blah, blah. And I never, ever did it.
Whoa.
And now look at it. Idris, if you're watching this,
call me.
It's funny. I'm going to do a little Idris Elba story now as well, because it's funny because I went to Barking College and did a BTEC in performing arts. And Idris Elba had left the year before I started. So he was the outgoing.
So you didn't know him?
I didn't know him. But then I was also on Family Affairs, and Idris Elba had left just before I started.
Well, funny you should say that.
I chased him around.
Yeah.
Between us, we've got it made.
Yeah, but when I bumped into him, he went, whatever you do, he said, I've got this geezer who's trying to chase me called Burns. He said, don't ever work with him.
Stalking.
It's happened to me. You're a professional stalker.
Yeah, well.
We are giving all sorts of advice and teaching all the right lessons on today's show. That's
well, I tell you what, now you are working closely together, with or without Idris Elba, we'll give him a bell. And
playing the baddie this year.
But I mean, you've got Panto coming up. You'll be playing Uglies together. I mean, it's in Ely, is that right? You're at Ely together.
Yes.
We'll let everyone know about that. But before we go, I mean, you've been an absolute. It's a brilliant time. We've got a few minutes left. We always get everyone to wind up with an anecdote, a funny story. Now, it's got to be a funny story with you two geezers on. Give us a funny story to finish up with, lads, because, I mean, you've got to be one out there somewhere.
Well, the story that sort of connects me and Burnsy, just a few years ago, we did, he was captain and I was Dame Mary Berry Bakewell in that one, Burnsy, I think.
Dick Whittington, wasn't it?
Yeah, and obviously I fancied the captain, blah, blah, blah. And we had to do a slosh scene together. Now, during the rehearsals, the slosh scene just wasn't working. We had to make this giant cake. And we were like short on laughs and it just weren't happening. And I was thinking, there's got to be a laugh out there somewhere. So after about 10 shows, I said to Burnsy, look, I've got an idea. This is in the wings, literally before we went on to do the slosh scene. I went, look, I've got an idea. I said, I'm going to throw a line at you while we're in a certain position. I said, and you'll just know that that's the moment. I said, and I want you to say the first thing that comes to your head. So he looked at me and he went, yeah. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about trusting each other. He trusted me not to stitch him up out there with that particular thing. And I knew that he would have the right answer. No matter what he said, we'd get a laugh. Anyway, so we're in the middle of the slosh routine and there's a position that we end up in where I'm leaning on the cake and the captain's holding my waist behind. So it's quite a compromising. I think it's page 67 of the Kama Sutra. I'm not sure. Is that the one where you still get your clothes on? But anyway, right? So we're in this position and I go, Captain, oh, Captain, remember that chocolate bar I gave you earlier? And I told you to put it in your pocket. What did you do with it? And I'm looking at the audience and he said, go on, Burnsy.
I ate it.
There you go. He said, I ate it. The audience laughed because I then reacted to whatever he was going. I didn't know what he was going to say. He could have said it's still in my pocket, which would have worked. He could have said I ate it, which he did, and that worked because now it means something else is sticking in me in my dress. And the audience absolutely howled. And we came off, and Burnsy went to me, magic, Tell. That's absolute magic because now we've got our punchline to a sketch that was really struggling, and we're going, bloody hell, there's only so many times we can fall over and get guns on us, and then the laugh starts subsiding. We need a woofer, and that was the woofer. And after that, even the director went, brilliant, love that. and you know, obviously we didn't take it
because sometimes directors don't take too kindly to you writing your own lines 3 seconds before you go on and do them.
No, the one thing I will say with Kat and Dan, obviously, well, they've both become very good friends of ours over the years. But I am now one of the co-writers of the panto each year. And that sort of developed over a period of time because so many times I'd be in rehearsals in the early stages going, Dan, I'd be in his ear going, Dan, I'm not being funny, but from a comedy perspective, you need to change that. That will work better. And he'd go, oh, okay, Terry. Well, and he would always listen to me. But now I'm on board with the writing. And Burnsy's noticed this over the last couple of years. I'll put like little character quirks in for him because I know Burnsy can execute it. So I'll go, right, I've got an idea. Like last year, your character was a hypochondriac, wasn't it, Burns?
Yeah.
So you know, we gave him a little character that way. Little idiosyncrasies which help you, I think, especially when you're acting. It just helps the actor rather than just reading these lines and you've got to bring everything to life. So we write like that. And obviously, because I'm one of the writers now, we get away with murder, don't we, Burns?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's it. I think now when Terry's writing it, he's got us in mind. How's that going to play out with us two doing that?
And this year we've decided that we're going to be, because we're both sort of like London accents, we're going to keep it straightforward. We're Essex girls. I'm Sharon, he's Tracy, and we're not the Ugly Sisters. We are the Ooglay Sisters. That's how it's pronounced.
Ooglay Sisters.
L-Y. Ooglay Sisters. Isn't that right, Trace?
That's right, Shaz.
Thanks, darling.
All right, babes. Don't worry about it.
See you at Christmas.
Amazing. So just to finish this off then, you better plug the show. Let us know when it's on, where it is, and where can people go and see the Ooglay Sisters?
Okay, babes, I'll take it from here. So we are going to be at the Maltins in Ely from the 9th of December to the 2nd of January 2023. Isn't that right, Shaz?
That's right, Trace. Yes. Oh, sorry about that.
She's always doing that.
Yeah. So if you're stuck with something to do at Christmas and you want to see more of that,
you want to see more of that?
Why you possibly would, but no. I wish I could come see you chaps. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, I'm going to be very busy. And Drew, I know you are as well. But anyone else out there, particularly anywhere near the Ely Theatre, the multi-theatre in Ely, please do go check out Terry and Terry doing what they do best, which is sharing a stage. Gents, it's been an absolute honour having you on. Thank you so much. I don't think we've ever had an episode that's been quite so mental. I think that's probably about right. But no,
honestly, no, it's been a pleasure, lads. Absolute pleasure. Thanks so much.
Just picking up on that word there, Sam. That's one of the words I got told off on radio for saying the word mental. Can you believe that? The program controller came in and said you can't say that.
Well, you know what that is.
Great.
That's mental.
Yeah. Political correctness gone mental. We're all mental, mate.
Right. And before we do get too political and we drive away all of this,
we love you all. We love you all.
Just remember that when we're standing up in court, all right? Just remember.
Terry Burns, Terry Gauci, thank you both so very much.
So much.
Absolute pleasure having you on. Have a wonderful panto season, both of you, and enjoy everything you're doing before then. And hopefully we'll see you all soon.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Take care.
See you very soon. Thank you.
Bye, mate. Sam, You know, we said it was worth waiting for. What a laugh! What a couple, a couple of absolutely diamond guys, aren't they? I mean, seriously.
Just a hell of a lot of fun. Like genuinely, like so much fun chatting to them. The time flew by, mate.
Didn't it just? And I mean, I know they're they're hysterical, but there were some lovely moments in that you knew. The nice thing is you look at those guys and you hear them talk and you hear them working together, and and I worked with Terry, I should say, Terry Burns. It's just two guys on top of their game, loving their work, and that's that. You can't ask for better than that. Can't ask for more than that.
No, I mean, you get the feeling just from listening to them talk there, and the chemistry that they have. That the minute they set foot on stage together, it turns up to 11 and away they go. They're just brilliant. And as we said earlier, I've been lucky enough to work with both of them, and they are just hugely talented guys. Very funny, very good at what they do. What more could you want, really?
Well, I mean, can you say turn them up to 11? Can you just imagine what they're going to be like in panto as ugly sisters, the Oogle sisters? I mean, they're just going to be amazing. And outrageous is the only thing I can imagine. But I mean, and if people want to see them, and who wouldn't, they are at the Maltings Theatre in Ely from the 9th of December to the 2nd of January. So get along and see them as the Oogle sisters.
Yeah, it's something you're not going to want to miss if you've got the opportunity. If you do live near Ely, or indeed if you don't, and you're going to travel because you fancy a great outing and a great Christmas panto, then the boys, can't really look further than them. I think it's going to be a fantastic Christmas season with them playing the Oogles. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
They will not disappoint. It's going to be brilliant.
No, and on a slightly sadder note, though, mate, I'm not going to be able to go and see them because
no, you're not, are you? No.
Well, and we have I've alluded to it, and I think when we had Callum on the show, we were talking a bit about it, but I can now finally officially say that I am going back. I'm doing panto again. I am back at the Chequermead Theatre this Christmas. Yes, back in East Grinstead in the production they are putting on this year of Aladdin. So I am super excited to be able to tell everyone that, yes, I'm going back. So if you live closer to East Grinstead than to Ely, why not come and see me instead? I'm at the Chequermead from the 10th of December to the 31st. So plenty of opportunity to come and see that show. Or even come and see me and then head off and see the Terrys, or vice versa. Come from north, go down, go via the Terrys. Come and see me. Whatever you're doing, come and have a couple of outings at a few pantos. But, and this is the thing, mate, at this point, people were expecting us to go, well, actually, you could do 3. But I think this is the first time in practically forever, you're not doing panto this year, Drew.
No, I'm having a break from my personal tradition and a break from panto. Rona and I have given the opportunity of producing and running the Christmas Wonderland, the Winter Wonderland, at the Old Watermill, a venue that we are associated with, and their Father Christmas, their Santa's Grotto. And instead of donning the dame outfit this year, I shall be donning the red outfit, and I'm going to be playing Santa himself. I can't wait, actually.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, yeah. I didn't think Santa was so small. But hey, you were talking recently about prosthetics and having extreme makeup. Are you being built up by a foot? No,
I'm just being built up by this program. I shall be well padded. I shall be well padded, mate. No, I'm very large in personality. I have a big beard and a bit, yeah. No, it's kind of a little bit of an ambition, actually. It's one of the bucket lists. Yeah, I loved Santa as a child, and we've got We've got it's a whole sort of, it is a whole production. It isn't just me sitting in a chair with kids. We've got elves. We've got an outdoor experience. We've got an whole interactive experience before you actually get to meet Santa himself. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're doing casting. We're writing the script. So it is very much our production. So wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a little bit different.
So if anyone happens to be in the south of England over the Christmas period, or if you're already in the south of England, so that's where you will be spending Christmas, why not do a tour? You could come from south and you could go East Grinstead to Luton to Ely, or if you're from not, it might be better to go the other way around. But either way, why not take a trip to see me, Drew, and the Terrys do exactly what we do best, which is making fools of ourselves in weird and wonderful costumes.
That'll do for me. Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, we will give more details and we'll talk a bit more about plans for Christmas and forthcoming things in episodes as we get a bit closer to the Christmas period. But it's nice to know right now that we're already starting to send out the feelers and that promos are happening and that people can really plan an amazing Christmas period. So, I'm just bloody excited for it, mate. I don't know.
Mate, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, it's gonna be good fun. Great fun. I'm also looking forward to being back here next week with me. Before you set off to Panto, before you get all grouchy and grim and villainesque, I'll be here with me little mate, giving our all from the Sofa of Dreams and the studio there. In podcast land. I nearly said Panto land there.
You nearly confused yourself there. There's many P's going on.
Steady.
Steady. I'm very much looking forward to it as well, mate. So have a cracking week.
And you, mate.
Everyone at home or on the road or wherever you happen to be listening or watching us, thank you so much for joining us. Another huge thank you to Terry Burns and Terry Gauci for coming on the show. It was just massively entertaining. It was so brilliant having them on after such a long period of planning. We've been in the works for so long.
Yeah, it was well worth the wait. Worth the wait.
Absolutely. So other than that, have a great week, everyone. And we'll see you next time. See you later.
See you next time.
Cheers. Bye. Thanks again for watching this episode of Drewling Samantics.
Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video.
Don't forget, we're also available as audio only. Just search Drewling Samantics in any good podcast app. And please support us on social media. All our links and handles are on screen now.
We love welcoming new followers and subscribers, so why not share with your family and friends so they can join in too? Thanks very much. See you next time.